All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It's Thursday, July 5th, 2018. I hope everybody here had a fun 4th of July. Had some good times with the family, the friends. Maybe you could have just kicked it all day. I don't know. Lit some fireworks up if it's even legal in your state. And if it's not legal, I hope you still did it anyway because you got to live once in a while. But with that being said, I was saying right before we got started, for anybody that was on, that we are looking, this week is going to be a little weird, especially tonight because, guys, Friday, technically tonight, is going to be NFP. So there's not going to be a lot of movement, not going to be a lot of, things going on right now. That's why the pairs have been consolidating this entire week. It's because one, it was Independence Day yesterday, and on top of that, it's going to be NFP tonight. So I'll kind of go over what we're looking at, see overall. This is where it's going to be. You guys, mute yourselves. That'd be great. For anybody that's not muted, mute. I can hear echoes. It distracts me. I know I'm just going to put my music. I'm just literally lowering my volume. Cool. So with that being said, EU. What are we looking at? This is where we're going to have to go over on a higher time frame because this little tiny time frame shit, for anybody that's not zooming out, is, you can tell it's kind of crazy. But daily here on Euro USD. So we've been waiting. It's been hitting a zone and consolidating for pretty much the whole month. I drew up a trend line here coming downwards, and it literally just broke right through it. My analysis that we were just going over here for EU, I was talking to a couple guys. We're still looking for buys on this. There's a couple entries. I still like it for, actually buys. What we got here. A couple trend lines coming up. I believe it's going to shoot up right past it. And overall, if we're looking at the daily, we're looking for it to possibly go right to the water here. So break that blueberry, go right up to the recent weekly high, recent daily high, right up to the 50 EMA. So if you guys have it on your charts, mark that up. Make sure you put a line right there. Let me look at this hour. Now, it's been consolidating because last night we did say that it was possibly going to shoot up. Or not last night, 2 nights ago. I was saying that it was going to consolidate through the trend line. If it broke through the trend line, we would see it go up to the blueberry, which in case it did. And now that's going to consolidate out for the rest of the night until NFP at 8 o'clock or 5:30 a.m. PST. So don't expect a lot of movement, but from what I'm looking at here, we could possibly see maybe like a shot, maybe consolidation here, shot down on that trend line again. If it doesn't break it, we'll be looking for buys. But I do ultimately see this thing be coming by, like at least a pullback up and then overall shot back down. But so that's what we're gonna be looking for. Be careful because of where it's at. This is time, in my opinion, this is where it's at in the chart. Could ideally be how NFP goes up and down, up and down, up and down really fast. All right, so be sure you guys are careful. If you haven't traded NFP yet, please don't go crazy and over leverage your shit because someone's feelings are gonna get hurt tonight, regardless of what I say. So, but just watch it. We'll see how it goes. See how everything goes tonight. I do believe we are gonna be looking for buys though. Overall, you Chief. Look at, man, this is just ugly as shit. Weekly down. I don't like this weekly. Still could shoot down overall. I believe this thing's actually gonna break. If anything, it could stop on. But let me see this. It's in a tricky spot. What trend line is this? Where did I draw this? There we go. No. Here. This there. So either we're going to see shot up, right? Possibly shot up, back down, or consolidation in this zone, breaks that zone, pulls back, and drops again, right? So it could do both. I honestly believe that it might drop. I think it's due for another drop, honestly. We'll see how this thing pays out, but honestly, this thing could ultimately drop. That's what I'm going to be looking for that. it's different. This is U Chief's in the middle. This one's 2 in the middle. Out of all the pairs, I want to say drop, but it's just, you see this. You got a high here, you got a low here, got a high, low, high. Like, some fuck shit. This is not a pair I play. This is why I haven't traded this pair in the last month. Is because it's just like,
Some fuck shit.
Do it. Like I don't even think Jesus, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I think, like, legitimately, if it just keeps wicking down here like this, it could shoot up, which if these pairs are inversely correlated, Euro USD, depending on what we're looking at, because, like, again, this is an overall downtrend, and I want to make this, I need to state this because sometimes people get it confused. This is not this is divergent, but it's not the divergence that we look for because the RSI is not outside the volatility band, which is a Bollinger Band. Normally, when I see this just indicates a pullback. That's why I said this possibly could actually shoot up towards that water, but then shoot back down. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. I definitely want to be paying attention to Euro USD. U-Chief, this one just looks like it's going to be shooting up just based off of how it's been bouncing off of these trend lines. So looking for this possibly to happen. It's just too hard to tell. But U-Chief, I'm definitely staying away from this. I don't want to try to guess on this pair. Let's go to GU, see if we can find some actually good setups. GU broke the trend line that was drawn here. I think I drew this based off the 4-hour. Fine-tune this thing. Bring it up there. Bring this here. All right, so it broke through that trend line. It's been bouncing off the water. I believe. Who's doing this? Really? Good talk. Good talk.
Yeah, that wasn't me this time.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Hey.
Let's see. So it's divergent here on the daily.
That'll go.
Divergent do a massive rail right off the 144 EMA. It is a downtrend. It's not the divergence that I like to see. The weekly, I mean, it's been rejecting this zone for the last 3 weeks. So a pull back to the upside is possible. But overall, this is a downtrend. I believe that this thing overall in the next few hours is going to be shooting up. It could possibly hit that Mayo and then reverse back down, but that's what I want. I don't want to say I want to see it, but based off of how we're looking at this right now, it could do that. It's retesting this water, right? So here was like a recent low, form the new low, consolidation, could shoot down to hit that Mayo, consolidate, and then rise for NFP. Even this is showing that it's going to be pushing down. How the RSI is coming, it's beneath the stationary 50, which is technically supposed to be below the EMA 50, and it's about to come outside of the volatility band. It's actually about to draw down beneath it, which tells me that this is more likely going to happen, that this shot down is more likely going to happen. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But ultimately, it is a downtrend. It did break that. So stop on high, maybe for NFP, and then look for next week to possibly drop. That's how I'm going to be viewing it. Oh, nice. What does this weekly say? Yeah, these are just in all bad spots. This is all just consolidating between EMAs. Overall, within the next hour, drop to the Mayo consolidation, and then we'll see how NFP holds up. Let's go to UJ. UJ has been – we made some money this week off of UJ. I know a few other people did off of that initial drop, which was perfect. Rejected the zone. But now it's retesting that water, and it's also breaking this trend line that we have drawn. So a couple things can happen. This could either come down to retest that water, which would be right on that the trend line, and then go back up towards the upside, which I actually do believe we still have that chance. Because on the weekly here, if you guys see, I have an overall trend line drawn out that it still has room to push up. And it's not – there's really nothing here telling me that it's going to be a shot down. Not exactly not yet. Let me see if I can fix this. I need this to be like spot on. Right there. So this still technically has room. And if you look here on the how the pairs are set up, this thing definitely looks like it could shoot up with the railroads and whatnot. RSI still above it, still above the daily stationary 50, which indicates an uptrend. I've been looking at this thing for a slight buy for a minute. Now it could, like I said, it could drop down to that water, which would be good. You know, we would see a nice little retracement, but ultimately we could expect this thing to shoot up to the upside. Let me see this hour. It's just a hella consolidation. Like, look, drops down. This kind of looks like a bearish pendant like this. It actually look like that. It's like ugly. So if this was going to drop, it would need to drop hard. If it drops, it's going to the hour blueberry. If it rises, it's going to retest this high to the recent daily high. So these are your zones right here. That will be your zones for definite, for rises and drops. It's above the stationary here. I believe this thing's actually going to be like bot, shoot back up. To be completely honest, I like this thing for an upper, for more buying potential. I did. Let's see. Bear with me on this. The pairs just this week are complete shit. So for those of you that, if you lost money this week, it's not your fault. Trust me, the markets were not good this week. Summertime, July, NFP, it's just crazy. Just the fact that it took out this high right here allows me to believe it still has room to retest this zone. That's why I'm saying we could see the push up. And there's no divergence. There's nothing here. Normally that tells me to continue with the trend. So that's what we're going to do. Continue with the direction. Any pullbacks down makes it go. Yeah. Well, sometimes it doesn't always have to. If it's NFP, NFP breaks the rules. Doesn't always stick to it. It's the only time shit can go wrong. But I do see this thing to a potential buy. Let's go to AU. AU's been a downtrend for a minute. It's been moving down for this whole past year. Nothing telling me it's going to be a buy just yet. Daily. We have divergence here. I believe that we were calling this thing for a buy after it would break the catch-up, which would be this water here. It's been consolidating for a minute. Throwing all these patterns, been oversold. Slowly coming over the stationary 50. It's on the hour. The hour is not even crazily, it's not even divergent on the hour. This thing could easily just go right up. Right back up. Because this would actually finalize the pullback. If you guys look at this daily, this is a lower low. So you have, essentially, we'll just go up here. You got the high, low, lower low, higher, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Ideally, we would want this thing to pull up towards that water to form the lower high. So on a technical standpoint, I would want this to shoot up. And that's why it's been presenting these, it's why it's been consolidating here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 zones that it's been rejecting. And it's been divergent here. Like, it's been divergent since back here. It's been divergent since on the daily here. You guys see it's oversold. You got a shark fin on the water. Oversold on the daily from the beginning of last month to the end of this month. Or last month here. Should I say the beginning of April towards the end of May, June. So it's like, it's all saying that it's supposed to be looking for a pullback to the upside. So this NFP could make that happen. But remember, it's only a pullback. The trend is still down. This would be only going to, I would look for it to go to that blueberry, and then if anything happens where it breaks it, then you can look for continuations. But we'll see how it happens. Here's the trend line, though, too. The trend line that it's been respecting is all the way up here. So if it's going to go up, it's going to retest there. GJ. GJ's been playing around.
This should be fun.
Let's see. It's been in the weekly, still showing down for some, going down to this side, right? It's been throwing the RSI, looks it's beneath the stationary 50. It's kind of curving back outside of the volatility band. The only thing is it's been throwing all these wicks for the last few weeks, several weeks actually. I have a trend line that I drew here off of the daily. Let me fix it up a bit. Right there. It broke through it to the upside, so that's why I'm like looking for possible buys. It even took out the high. Here was the recent high, right there. Here's a new high, low, right? So it was divergent. We have the divergence here that you guys can see. It shot up hard, consolidated, shot up again, took out the high, dropped down, consolidated. GJ looks like a, just on a technical basis, just seems like it's gonna go up. Broke the trend line. There is another one here. If we go to the hour, right? Drop this. So about here. It's been respecting it. So in order for this to be a sell, guys, one, it's going to have to do a couple things. It's going to have to, one, break this and test and drop back down. But if it doesn't, it's going to respect this and then shoot up to retest this high or higher. So this is, could potentially be a buy. Potentially. Yeah. See how this goes. It could make its move sooner. I mean, GJ is not on the list for NFP. None of those pairs are, but just based off of this, it's bouncing off the 50. Look what it's been doing every single time. It bounces off, it goes, bounce off, it goes, bounce off, goes, bounce off, goes. It's hitting it 1, 2, 3 times. Still has yet to go up, and that's a new high. So we'll be looking for this to possibly shoot up unless there's something that's going to happen to the yen or some shit that's going to make it drop. Let me actually look. I don't know if I have the yen index. Do I have the yen? And the US index? Not on this. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what you guys are going to look for in GJ. EA still has been maintaining this head and shoulders look. Look at that. It even closed up to the top. It's been wicking like crazy. Still divergent here, drops down. It's just kind of doing its thing. Through that railroad, wicked up to it yesterday, didn't take it out. It's still valid for a drop if this doesn't take. But this could also consolidate. See how the RSI is kind of just slowly moving upwards like that. This can still consolidate here within the zone for a minute before taking that drop. So let me see this 4 hour. The 4 hour looks good. Been overbought for a minute. If this thing's going to be anywhere near a sell, guys, it needs to take out that 4 hour water. It needs to break it and then pull back and retest it. So if the water gets broken, it's going to look like this. And a little 50-50 bounce off of it for the continuation drop. First area would be the Mayo, which would line up over here. And you have the Blueberry, which would line up here. So that's your zones. That's what you would look for to be a sell. If not, drop down continuation. And if it breaks this high, you can forget about that head and shoulders. Just saying. Weekly, if it takes out that high, you can forget about the head and shoulders. It's going up to retest this zone. So we'll see how it goes. 1 hour. Waking off that water right now. Look, right off of it. Boom, right off that zone. See how this all plays out. Yeah. Continuation. Yeah, just wait for it. Wait for this thing to break that water on the 4 hour. If it doesn't, continue up. EG. I don't know if I want to do EG. It's been just chilling. Let's see. I said it was going to drop down towards the water and bounce off. It broke it, hit the 144, continued up. Still in consolidation. This pair is just weird too. In the daily. That's why I have been playing it. Oh, but it did throw some daily sauce there. You see that? It's a railroad right off of the catch up. It's a nice indication for a continuation, which actually makes sense because that's the new high. Pull back to the catch up. That's a rise. And there's no divergence. So this would be the continuation push right there. So you guys are looking for buys on EG. Buys. I like that sauce. I haven't done EJ yet. So that's what you guys are looking for in this time zone. You bastard. We'll see how that goes.
That's white, yeah.
Yeah. GA been doing a bunch of fucking crazy shit. Look at this.
Oh, that's all good.
Broke out of this one.
I'm honestly might even throw it.
What?
Oh, is it dirty? Is it is dirty on the inside, I guess? Oh, just outside. Yeah, we'll see.
Hold on, Josh.
Oh no, it's just out. Okay.
So let's see. It broke the trend line here. It wicked, look at that. Wicked right off of it. It's wicking off that 144 EMA. Here's just a couple things. It's just different now. It's like this is the same thing we experienced with GJ a few weeks ago when it was consolidated like this, and then it dropped down hard and continued. Like this is just in some crazy shit. Yeah. Wouldn't even like this for a fucking buy. There's just something we're gonna have to wait on because here's the. See, here's like the overall support. Got support here. There's multiple. Let me just look at this higher time frame. I'm just gonna have to go off of the higher time frames. Daily. This is GA. Look at it. It's been respecting the zone. This could still drop, even regardless that it broke the trend line. That when it consolidates like this and goes to a trend line, like sometimes it doesn't even have to fucking follow the rules of like technicals. This is why people get psyched out because they're seeing all this shit happen. They're like, oh my god, look, it broke it broke here, and then it went and did its thing. But this thing is still valid for a sell. This could still drop, which would actually make sense because I have AU for a buy. So if this goes down, this follows through, GA would be a sell, and it would continue back down towards this low. Because technically, let me see this. It is slowly going in an uptrend, but if you guys look here on a higher scale, here's the recent low right there. Change the color. Here's the recent low right here. Here's the new low. Lower high, pull back, come down, retest, then possible consolidation again, or that break. There's multiple things. I think this thing is going to be a drop overall, so it should be interesting. Look at him. Yeah, could be a head and shoulders. It's just this weekly. It's just the weekly it's not divergent. It's just been slowly going upwards. That's why I'm like, but on this daily and whatnot, it broke this low. Divergent here, right? Because it's straight across here. Look right here, watch. So it comes straight across. Horrible drawing, but you get it. And it's overbought going down. And it drops down, makes the new low, pulls back. It's retesting this stationary 50. And normally when I see shit like that, it's telling me that the RSI, especially since it's still contained inside of the volatility band, could come right back down, which would then force this to come down towards the blueberry and the mayo. And this is the daily, so we can predict down the daily, we can look for precise entries on the hour, the 4 hour. Here, it would need to break that Mayo and then pull back and retest it, because if it makes that Mayo, it's retesting this trend line, and it's going to have to, even here too, look at this RSI. See how it's already beneath the stationary 50, and see how it's already making its way downwards? Like, that is telling us that this most likely is a pullback and it's going to shoot back down. And this is an AUD pair, meaning that it does move now. It's Asian session, so like it should move. So that's what we're going to possibly be looking for. And then gold, been waiting for gold to do this for a minute now. Weekly, I did this earlier. 1, 2, 3 through a wick off it. Tonight it closes, and that will be an inverted. That'll be a hammer candlestick, possible shoot up for the next day. The daily through a railroad right on top of that trend line. Right, it was oversold. It was divergent, shot up. The 4 hour, it's consolidating in between the water and the ketchup. Through that daily sauce, shot up, or the 4 hour sauce shot up. That's why it shot up just now. It's over the stationary 50. 1 hour is consolidating. Let's go here, on the top, there, here, from there. All right, so you got that. I believe this thing will shoot up, if anything, maybe like a stop hunt to that low and then come back up again. But I overall see this to be buying potential. It may just do some fuck shit before it goes up there. So really just pay attention to it. I believe we are going to see a new trend, and then it will shoot up towards that Mayo on the 4 hour, right to that side. So should be good. Should be interesting to say the least. This NFP is definitely going to be interesting. But guys, know after this NFP, if everything decides to move, we're going to evaluate what happens. We'll come back on Sunday and we'll evaluate what happened. It'll be clearer. It'll be a way clearer understanding of what to expect, because this week has just been complete consolidation. They're saving up contracts, waiting to move it for NFP, and trying to hurt get some people out of it. So with that being said, that was the best of my ability. I mean, just a lot of unclear situations. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens, but that's what we're going to be looking at, and then we'll come back on Sunday and make this thing happen. So with that being said, is gold a ugly ass inverted? Not really. No, that's not an inverted, because it's not the right divergence here. So I'm saying I think it's just going to shoot up towards that Mayo at first for a pullback, but it is inverted. It is divergent on the daily. So I will be looking for that retest. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. Next week should be way easier after this consult. Once this is all done, once everything makes the move this tonight going into Sunday, this should be way easier. So don't try to get your hopes up and I'm going to master NFP, because I'm just letting you know right now, it's really hard to understand this shit, especially if it's like consolidating this. You'll be guessing. So I hope everybody stays safe in the markets. Use proper risk management. Don't blow your accounts. And we will come back on Sunday and evaluate how we're going to make this thing happen. So if it had to be divergent for head and shoulders to be valid, yeah, but divergence doesn't always have to be a inverted head and shoulders. That's just the start of it for head and shoulders to be valid. It would be the best, yes. Divergence would EJ? Oh shit, you still want me to do EJ? Let's try not to go too crazy with too many pairs. I pick specific amount of pairs so I don't stress myself out. EJ, let's see. Where is EJ? There it is. This will be the last one, because none of the pairs are moving, so. This one's consolidated too. They're all consolidated. Oh. got room to drop. There. It's diverging a little bit. Could do this. Rise, drop. Rise, drop. Rise, hit the blueberry, drop, pull back, and go up. It's wedging, so overall, technically, it's technically an uptrend because here's the most recent data. Overall, this is just a pullback. Here's the high. It is below the stationary 50 though, and it's slowly coming out of the. See how it's slowly starting to make its way over the stationary 50? That's telling me that this thing on a higher time frame could shoot up. So expect this to possibly maybe shoot down to the catch up and then shoot up towards that trend line. All the JPY pairs have been correlating the last week or so, so just like, so it could be interesting. Right now, I can see why. The only thing is I see this. You got pairs, this, divergent. So here's reasons why it could. And you have like the pairs going slightly upwards like that. So it is divergent. On this scale, it did break that high, but if it's going to be a sell, it has to shoot up. Unless it really just decides to break down here. Like if this thing, because here's the thing. Look at this. Let me, on an hour time frame. You got this here. You got the resistance. You got the support. This is called fringing. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So if it doesn't break this resistance right here, yes, then it could be valid for a sell. But if it breaks it, especially this high, it's going up to that trend line, and then that's when you can decide whether or not it's going to be a drop, or if you zoom out, it could possibly be a rise. This is the shit I don't like here. This is where it gets interesting. If pairs are in this type of zone, then you really have to understand technicals. So it's like you got this trend going up. It would have to really decide to break that sell. It depends on how far of a sell you has it going for. His entry 109.4 selling. I'm not here to fucking prepare, but we'll see. 109.45 on EJ. Where the hell are you getting 109.45? Oh, 129. I was like, what the fuck? Let's see. Right there. It's right here. So his sell limit is about to get activated. It's a little early. I don't know. I don't like. I think it's early. I still think it's going to shoot up. In my opinion, I think it's going to shoot up a little bit more before it decides to do anything different. That's just my opinion. If it shoots down, if it hits it, I don't know where his take profit is, but I would take it there. Otherwise, you're guessing because it could shoot right back up and go up. Boom, stop loss it. Or you could be right, break the trend line, come back, retest it, hit this, and either break this and continue or consolidate here. This is not a trade. If you take this selling it, do not stay in it long. It's just sometimes I question some things. It is what it is. It's pretty low. That's what I'm saying. It still rises a little bit. The fact that we're even debating right now should just tell you straight up. We're not debating, but should tell you if you don't know where it's gonna go, don't fucking play it. It's like that simple. Like I don't even like this pair right now. I just don't like the way it looks. I'm not trying to get that. You're guessing. Like it's in the middle. It's literally in the middle right now. you are literally kind of, the only way I can see this working is if you are scalping. Like a 15-minute scalp. I don't even know. Let me go to this 15-minute. It loads. All right, could be great if you load it. Cool. See, on this, makes sense. Head, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, potential drop to the Mayo. That's possible. But that's also short term. What the? 15-minute. Resisting. That is a head. It's like a small head and shoulder. So this thing could potentially drop right here. But I wouldn't expect it to be a crazy drop. So this would be like an in and out type situation. Yeah, it's all risky. The reason it's risky is because it's fringing. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, look, like high, low. Like this is all guessing. You are going to have to stare at your laptop to make sure it hits TP. You cannot walk away from this or be comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I'm comfortable if this breaks, it's going to hit here. That's like the first spot I can guarantee it's going to hit. If it breaks that, it's going to the blue. Or it's going to this trend line to reverse back up. There's a couple of there's differences. So if I would just recommend waiting for it to hit the zone again, then you could sell it perhaps. Or you can look for a buy if it doesn't break that trend line and take it up. If it breaks it, then you know to retest and you could sell it again. A couple entries, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not here to give out signals. So with that, we're good. NFP, be safe. We'll come back Sunday. I truly believe that next week's gonna be a lot clearer. You all know NFP weeks is always like a stress struggle, whatever. But we'll come back stronger next week, and we'll catch these pips. So everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves and have some fun. And we'll come back stronger next week. Let's do it. Peace out, guys.